What's up guys, Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be talking about Jeremy Ethier, I don't know. The best meal plan to build muscle faster. Eat like this. Sorry. Eat like this with all caps and exclamation marks. I find those so funny. I try to actually do some of this stuff in my titles to see if it works better and be like all caps or something, but some things are so funny where it's like science-based. It's like fucking screaming at me. Eat like this or I'll fucking kill you. This is his outline on how to build muscle effectively, how to, maximize protein synthesis and keep your body anabolic as much as possible. And there was a point that came up about a third into the video that I thoroughly disagreed with, that I just kind of want to rebuttal. And yeah, let's check it out.
However, even with this accomplished, there's still another thing we can do to optimize our 24-hour protein synthesis. Because although we have optimized it throughout the day, we need to keep in mind that the muscle building and recovery process still goes on overnight as you're sleeping. Therefore, it makes sense to ingest an adequate amount of protein shortly before you go to bed, since that's the longest period that you'll go without food. And for this reason, I'd actually argue that you want to also bias a little bit more of your daily protein towards this pre-sleep meal, and ideally with a slow digesting protein source to extend that muscle protein synthesis response as much as possible overnight. In fact, research seems to agree with this and has shown that while 20 grams of protein gives a near maximal increase in protein synthesis during the day, it appears that you need at least 40 grams of protein to get a significant increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis, which can be done with an adequate amount of ideally a slow digesting protein such as casein protein powder, cottage cheese, or eggs, for example, to further sustain that protein synthesis response overnight.
Okay, so the point is made by him that you should be having a big protein meal before bed, a slow digesting one too. And then on top of that, this is the thing that, first of all, I already don't agree that you should be having a big protein meal before bed. Second thing he says is you should literally backload it to the point where you're having a giant protein meal before bed that's substantially bigger than all your other meals to try and keep muscle protein synthesis spiked around the clock. So without even delving into why it's problematic to never have, recovery states where you're in a state of autophagy relative to constantly redlining mTOR and trying to be anabolic 24/7, getting to sleep, that is the best thing you're going to do to recover and grow muscle. I think we can all agree that high quality sleep, not just light sleep, not shitty intermittent sleep, but getting your allotment of deep sleep, REM sleep, light sleep, the whole 9 yards, is probably the most important thing to focus on when you're going to bed, as opposed to getting in a double load of protein. But so it's not essentially on paper, why is it problematic that he's putting all this protein before bed? The problem is your body can't go to sleep and can't get into sleep properly if it doesn't decrease its body temperature to a certain extent. And this is why in the summer you sleep so much shittier, and why people literally use cooling pads under their bed to help them get to sleep more. Because if your temperature is too high, you're not going to get into as deep of a sleep as you need to be, and it's going to completely fuck your entire night. So if you listen to any, sleep specialist, sleep doctor, anyone who is an expert in this field, they're going to tell you to try and aim to stop eating a few hours before bed. And if you are going to eat before bed, they're going to tell you don't use protein before going to bed. And they're especially going to tell you don't double up on your protein. The reason being, you need to drop your body's core temperature by 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit in order to get into your proper sleep cycles. So if you are doubling up your protein requirement, literally backloading it to the point where you're allocating a giant chunk of your daily allotment right before bed, you're spiking your body's temperature right before you go to sleep and completely fucking your chances of getting a good quality sleep. So to prioritize getting another spike of mTOR before going to bed over top of getting a proper deep quality sleep, that is the actual thing that's going to determine if you grow properly or not. It's just the most short-sighted analysis of a study I've ever seen. To just look at a study and assume, oh, you need the muscle protein synthesis around the clock is what we need. So we need to have I need a fucking IV drip of EAAs while I'm sleeping. No, dude, you need to sleep properly, and that's not going to happen if you're spiking your body temperature through the roof. Put an Oura ring on, assuming that we're going to assume the Oura ring is accurate. If you want to get a high quality sleep study, then do that. Do a perfect day. Don't eat for 3 to 4 hours before going to bed. See what your sleep metrics are like. Now, have a giant 50-gram protein casein meal right before going to bed. Check your body temperature and then see what your sleep quality is like relative to that. So the one where you're getting your protein allotment divvied up throughout the day, but is more intelligently allocated where you're not backloading it right before going to bed and you're getting a proper sleep, versus the one where you're backloading it to get a big spike in anabolism while you're sleeping, but you're completely fucking your sleep. Which one do you think is going to grow more? Which one do you think is going to recover better? It's going to be the guy who didn't backload his protein right before going to bed. So no, you don't want to be increasing your body temperature right before bed with a giant bolus of protein. Protein has a stronger thermic effect than carbohydrates and fat. And a lot of us already know this. I'm sure Jeremy knows this as well. So I'm not sure why he's overlooking this, such an obvious thing. There are so many studies that confirm that protein has a higher thermic effect than the other macronutrients. So no, this is not the ideal situation. This is not what you should be doing, and you should not listen to this advice. So that is my advice. Don't backload your protein before going to bed. Have it split out evenly into meals if that's what you're gonna do. Frankly, if I was trying to maximize muscle growth, that would be probably a more ideal approach. Frankly, if longevity and a hybrid of performance and growth is kind of what you're shooting for, my approach would be a little bit different. But even if maximum muscle growth was the goal, putting all your protein right before going to bed would certainly not be the approach I would take, and would literally, like, if you've seen the data on just what a couple hours of sleep lopped off of your daily, sleep amount can do to your endogenous androgen production, and the myriads of other, corticosteroids and all the things going on in your body. If you just look at just a couple hours of fucking up your sleep can do those things, and then you think that having 40 grams of casein before bed is going to be more beneficial than ensuring all those functions are working properly, then you're just like completely missing the point here. So take from that what you will. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplatesmoredates.com. Follow me on Instagram at moreplates_moredates, Facebook, Snapchat, BitChute, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcast. If you can actually follow me on the platforms, that would be much appreciated. Like Facebook, organic reach sucks. I don't know why, it's just terrible. So if you can follow me there, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Instagram, trying to grow the Instagram. Any of the other platforms I'm on helps when, everyone gets diversified across them for better reach and stuff, and the algorithms and all that kind of shit. Drop a 5-star rating on the podcast, helps the algorithm there. And if you want to listen to me in the car rather than burning through your data on YouTube when you're on the go, I recommend you subscribe to the iTunes audio or Spotify or wherever you want to listen. If you want to support the channel, also comment and like on this video because it helps the algorithm here. The almighty YouTube algorithm needs to be satisfied, so I gotta push the video. If you want to support the channel, check out anything I'm associated with, video description below, my TRT clinic if you are seeking hormone optimization or feel you would benefit from an assessment of your current health status, hormone profile, for any deficiencies and imbalances that you may currently have. I compel you to reach out to them. The patient care coordinators are very, very well qualified to go through your bloods with you. They'll pull them, go through them A to Z with you. And then from there, you can be facilitated into a meeting with our doctors. And it's all done over Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, whatever's convenient for you. It's all telemedicine. So you don't actually have to go into an office and meet up with the doctor. It's all very convenient from your home. And from there, kind of go through a summary of your current health status and kind of evaluate anything that may warrant medication. And if you end up getting medication, then from there you can save $50 off your first treatment with the coupon code MPMD50. If you want to check out my nootropics and pre-workout formulas, those are linked in the description below as well. Nootropics, great for studying, productivity, basically anything that would require a high level of concentration, focus, creativity, mental clarity. That's what the nootropics are geared towards and do an exceptional job of, in my opinion. I sit down on a Word document, write out all these formulas myself from scratch. Check out the pre-workout formulas as well, self-explanatory what those are. I compel you to just pull out your current pre, compare it to the label on mine. You'll quickly see why the switch is a no-brainer. Like the labels, the transparency, it's pretty damn obvious when you just put your pre beside mine what the difference is. So I compel you to check out the labels, compare them to mine, and then from there, I would recommend you try them out. I'm not just saying that because I'm biased, because I own the shit. I would literally mix this stuff myself if I was using it and I didn't have the company. So recommend those. And then anything else I'm associated with, video description below as well. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.